Hello and welcome back to the third rail. If you are familiar with the channel, you often see my models in action, but you never see what happens once the fun is over. In my case, this involves quite a lot of packing, but also a few maintenance tasks I routinely perform at that stage, including taking care of probably the most neglected part of any model railway, the wheels of wagons and coaches. I still need to put away everything I used for my last running session, so I thought I'd show you this bit of my routine today. And then to finish the video, we'll goof around with the hoppers for a bit while they are still out. So, if you like the sound of that, you can stay with me for a bit of, how shall I call this? Summerly geek out, maybe? Before we set off, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe and alert button before leaving today. Super thanks are also available if you feel the content deserves it. Whatever the option you choose will be much appreciated, especially now during the summer. Many thanks. Now on to our topic. It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that the wheels on our models need to be cleaned, a task most will do regularly on locomotives, but less so, if at all, on wagons and coaches. But these wheels are important too. First of all, dirt and grime will cause drag that might impact the performance. As time goes on, deposits will make the ride more and more wobbly too. But aside from the mechanical or cosmetic aspects, wheels also play a role electrically. In the Märklin 3-rail system, they act as ground pickups for interior lighting or as triggers on contact tracks. This aspect is critical to automated operations, whatever the type of controls. Keeping wheels clean will contribute to operational reliability by reducing sparking and ensuring good conductivity. But by far the most important aspect, even for those who don't care much about automation, is that this helps keep the track clean. I won't cover track cleaning in depth in this video, and probably ever on the channel. It is a tedious task about which opinions are split, and usually a source of heated discussions. So for the sake of the peace in the comments section, I would implore anyone tempted to start a thread on track cleaning today to refrain or take it to their favorite model railway forum instead. But whatever the school of thoughts, I am sure most people will agree that putting dirty wheels on the track is not a way to keep it clean, so wheel cleaning should form part of any track maintenance routine. Now, this is not the most stimulating of tasks, it can be time-consuming, but the more you wait, the longer it is going to take. So, to make the task manageable and more importantly easier in the long run, I have split the process in two steps. The first step is what I would pompously call provisioning, because it takes place before railing an item for the very first time on any of my layouts. I give the wheels what I would call a royal treatment. They get thoroughly cleaned, whatever their state, even if they look nice and shiny. If they are oxidized, they even get polished, and then everything gets treated with a bit of track cleaner. I covered this process in another video, that's where the footage you are viewing now comes from. There is a link at the top for your reference. Now this is the most time-consuming part of the process, whatever the initial state of the wheels, but I only do it once. I am sure corrosion or oxidation will come back over time, but it will take quite a few years to become a problem. Here is a wagon that featured in the footage you have just seen. It was treated just over 2 years ago now. I have used it a couple of times since, and the wheels still look good, I'd say. Now, this process doesn't prevent wheels from picking dirt from the track. It just doesn't add anything to whatever is already there. Everything we have on the layout now has run for about 6 hours, maybe 7, and has been out for about 2 weeks at the time of filming. If I take one of the cars in front of me and turn it around so we can assess the wheels, we can see that most wheels are clean, but we do have a few accumulations already. On this layout, this usually happens on the side where the axles spend most of their time on the inside of curves. But overall, it's not bad at all, I'd say. I take care of these accumulations in a second step, which happens at the time I remove items from the layout to return them to their box. This is where I rip the rewards of the bit of effort I put in the wheels before using the models for the very first time. The dirt is superficial, so it is easier to take off. I just use a bit of track cleaner. Aside from removing the dirt, this will also leave a coating on the wheel that will delay corrosion. I just take care of deposits. If the wheels look clean, then I don't touch them at all. You have to stop somewhere. I'm not that masochistic. Once that is done, the item can be returned to its box. The whole thing only adds about 30 seconds to the process, as you could see. And it has the added benefit that the item will be ready for use straight out of the box the next time I need it. This routine works well for me because I put my models away after each session, so it is just adding a few seconds to a task I constantly do. If I was keeping my rolling stock permanently on the track, this would be a different story, of course. I'd probably have to do cleaning sessions a few times a year. This would be annoying, but fine on up to 20 cars maybe. Above that, it would become a nightmare to manage. I think I'd probably invest in a wheel cleaning machine like the one you see on screen now. This one is fitted at track level and cleans the wheels as wagons drive over it. But what I found with cleaning contraptions is that they usually work best on superficial or fresh deposits. As soon as things get a bit dry or crusty or too much simply, they usually give up. Judging by the reviews, this also applies to this track cleaning machine. Whatever the method or tools, fundamentals remain the same. It is a matter of starting from a good, clean base and not letting things get out of hands with regular cleaning. But I am afraid there is no substitute for elbow grease, which will always be the most reliable way to get to a good base, and from that point the game is only about delaying the inevitable as long as possible. We are all packed now. The process took a good 35 minutes. This session involved quite a lot of kit, so in such cases I do an additional step that involves the only cleaning gadget I own, this little track cleaning wagon from Märklin. I'd say this happens about 4 or 5 times a year these days. But the name track cleaning wagon is a bit misleading. This thing is absolutely useless on very dirty track, something I was naively hoping it could do when I bought it. So it spent the first few years of its life in the back of a drawer as a result. I since integrated it in my routine, using it for what it was made for, I think, and this would be to deal with light dirt. It is a simple principle. The chassis is fitted with 2 felt pads attached to a weight. The pads rub against the track to remove or push dirt and residues aside. Now let's check the track. I last thoroughly cleaned it in early 2023, or maybe even late 2022. I can't remember. In any case, it's over a year ago. I just run my fingers along the rails with a bit of pressure, and as we can see, we have tiny little black marks on the tip of my fingers. It's really nothing to worry about, really. I would normally not do anything about it. But I'll send the cleaning wagon around the track anyway. I'll let it run for about 10 minutes or so. We won't watch that, that would be a bit boring. So I'll be right back. One moment, please. And we are back. So let's do a little finger check again. And we have nothing. This is what we like to see. And that was it. That was all my packing routine. Well, I still have the hoppers to do, but I always like to run both rakes together for a bit before they disappear on the shelf for a couple of years again. And both rakes together should be no problem for the BR151 we have here. Okay, off we go. See, piece of cake. I love these hoppers. They are among the few things I kept from my previous life as a digital operator. And it's really no problem for the locomotive. You wouldn't believe the locomotive uses the same small 3-pole motor that was fitted to almost everything Märklin produced in the 70s and 80s. Beautiful! There we go, that was geeky today, wasn't it? And you were very brave if you stayed with me until now. I'd like to thank you very much for spending so much of your time with me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, hopefully enough for you to give it a like, maybe subscribe if you haven't already done so, or even send a super thanks my way if you feel the video was worth it. Thanks as ever for all your support, and bye for now.